Hello. My name is Hans George Campbell. Tonight I thought I'd show you guys this new Seasonic Focus GX-850 power supply. This power supply is 850 watts. It is rated at 80 plus gold. Comes with a 10-year warranty. It is the power supply that I have chosen to install in my upcoming Windows XP computer build. Alright, so let's open up the box and take a look at this wonderful Seasonic Focus GX-850 power supply. Alright, let me get rid of this this stuff that generates a lot of static electricity. I'll put it over here. Actually, I'll put it down here. Alright, so, well, I think I'll show the box first. I'll zoom in. You can see the box really good. Okay. Let me get out my pointer. I know I'm going to use that. I need my pointer. So, yeah, this power supply is so nice that it comes with a 10-year warranty. Seasonic, they make some of the best power supplies for PCs. They really do. And it's one of the power supplies that I choose for any of my PC builds. So I always go with Seasonic. They're a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. They're very nice power supplies. I personally have never had problems with any of the Seasonic power supplies that I have installed in my computers. And this is the power supply that I have chosen for my Windows XP computer build. Very nice power supply. I want to make sure that I had a good quality power supply that had enough wattage so that I can basically install any graphics card I wanted to in my Windows XP computer. Even those power-hungry graphics cards from, like around the mid-2000s, late 2000s. One such card comes to mind, like the famous, the GTX 8800 and the 9800 series graphics cards. Those cards, well, let me show you one. I'll show you one. I've got one new in the box. Here is a, let me zoom out a little bit. Here is a EVGA GeForce, what is it? The 9800 GTX, okay, graphics card. This is like a new and improved version of the famous 8800 GTX. This is the card that came out after the 8800. And this is a power-hungry graphics card. So I wanted a graphics card, a power supply that could handle graphics cards like this in case I decide to go with one of these. And what you have to look out for on these power supplies, okay, I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in so you can possibly see it. Let me get the power supply out of the way temporarily. Okay. Because what I'm going to show you now is very important and you need to see it. So let me zoom in. Okay, let me zoom in so that you can see that. Alright, yeah, I know I'm a perfectionist. Oh well, sorry about that. But anyway, I don't know if you can read that. I think you should be able to read it because this is an HD video camera. But it says here, 450 watt or greater power supply with a minimum of 24 amps on the plus 12 volt rail. Now notice it said rail, not rails. A lot of your power supplies, they have the amperage split between multiple 12 volt rails. That kind of power supply will burn up if you use these older graphics cards like this, these power-hungry graphics cards. No, it has to supply a minimum of 24 amps on a single 12 volt rail, which the Seasonic power supplies do. Now, to give you an idea of just how much current 24 amps is, okay, and why these graphics cards are so scary, okay, to use in your computer, 1 amp will kill you. Okay, just 1 amp. 2 amps will fry your body charcoal black. 12 to 15 amps will cause your body to explode. So you can imagine how much current 24 amps is. And yet that's the kind of current that these early power-hungry graphics cards use. The 8800 GTX is the same way. Same way. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay, I'm planning on installing this graphics card into an upcoming Pentium 4 build, which I'm going to be doing. And yeah, and we're going to be doing some benchmarking and some gameplays on this famous graphics card. But anyway, when we come back from a quick commercial break, we will open the box and we'll take a look at this beautiful Seasonic power supply.
Windows XP, the #1 selling and most popular version of Windows. So many people today, including the United States military, still use Windows XP. But why? Why do so many people love this graphics user interface? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this special series of videos here on the Hans Campbell Show. Windows XP.
Alright, this is the back of the box. I don't know how well you can read this, but fully modular cabling design, compact size, 140 millimeter. I guess that's the length of the power supply, or how deep it is. 120 millimeter fluid dynamic bearing fan. Okay. And And this power supply has highly reliable Japanese 105 degrees Celsius aluminum electrolytic capacitors. Very good quality capacitors. Seasonic hybrid silent fan control. Tight voltage regulation on the 12 volt rail, the 5 volt, and the 3.3 volt rail, plus or minus 3%. That's really good. Ample plus 12 volt output. This is important for power hungry graphics cards. DC to DC converter design. Okay. Cable-free connection design. Gold-plated high-current terminals. That's the terminals that you plug your cables into. They're gold-plated. I didn't know that. Comes with a 10-year warranty. Oh yeah, that's how good these power supplies are. They're really good. Now we're going to take a look at this part of the box. Let me maybe zoom out just a hair. This is the, I think, the voltage specs on this power supply. I know a lot of you are going to be interested in seeing these specifications on the end of the box. We see here, okay, DC output voltage plus 3.3 volts is 20 amps, plus 5 volts is 20 amps, plus 12 volt on a single 12 volt rail is 70 amps. This is very important. This is what you need to consider when you're choosing your graphics cards. You need to find out how many amps the graphics card that you have chosen, how many amps that card uses, and make sure that your power supply supplies that amperage on a single rail. Many of your power supplies divide the total amperage on the 12 volts, okay, plus 12 volts, on multiple 12 volt rails. You don't want that. And then on negative 12 volts, you've got 300 milliamps. That's about the same as the power supply on the Amiga 2000 computer. So this hasn't changed through the decades. I mean, oh my God. You would think that by now they would have upped that to at least 1 amp, you know. Then on the plus 5 volts, I think it's an extra 5 volt. It looks like 3 amps. Anyway, you can read this for yourself. Hopefully, you can read that. And I think, okay, this is all your cables that are supplied with the power supply. What is it? Total number of connector or cables. Total number of connectors, and this is your total length in millimeters of each cable. So this is important for figuring out your cable management, you know. So yeah. So now let's take the power supply out of the box. All right. In the box, okay, we get this here. I don't know if you can read it. We get this, whatever it is. Dear valued customer, thank you for purchasing this Seasonic power supply. Oh well, I guess it's a thank you note. And then we get, look at this. I think I might use this. Enter for a chance to win a $50 Steam e-gift. Oh my God. Okay. I might actually enter. And then we have, what we got here? We got the Seasonic user manual. Oh yeah, man. The user manual to this beautiful power supply. Looks like it's in multiple languages. Okay. Multiple languages. And we have the actual power supply installation guide. Seasonic, the heart of your system. Yes, it is. Let's zoom in, take a look at those pictures. Okay. And yeah, let's take a look at all this juiciness, shall we? Take a look at all that juiciness under the camera. I know you guys are interested in reading all this, right? Okay. And yeah, we've got, well, I already showed you that. And then here's the other side of this user guide. Okay, there's more of that. I don't know how well you can see all that underneath the camera. Okay, but I like showing, you know, the user guides. I like showing the user guides whenever possible, you know, because I think they're just as important as the actual hardware. So yeah. And then we get an envelope, well, a Ziploc bag, with the black iodized mounting screws for the power supply. That's nice. I always like when they do that. I think it looks like there's 12 black zip ties for your cable management. Also, I think there's 3, you know, looks like 3 of these Seasonic, what is it, Velcro, you know, for your cable management. That's pretty cool. You know, pretty cool. It says Seasonic right on the on these cable ties. That's pretty cool. All right. So the rest of the stuff that comes in here, we've got the power cord. Okay, it's the power cord. And then we have this, I wish all power supplies came with this. This plugs into the main power connector, right? And allows you to turn on the power supply to test it to make sure that it works. This is actually a cool thing to have. It probably has the jumper between the 2 wires that need to be jumpered. Probably has that built into this connector. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's keyed, so you can only plug it in, you know, the correct way. So yeah, that's pretty cool there. All right, and it has this bag of cables. This appears to be the cables for like your power supply. I mean the for your disk drives like Molex and SATA power cables. That's what this bag appears to have in it. Okay. And it has a second bag in here. I think this bag has the main power cable for the motherboard. Okay, and the 12-volt CPU power cable, and of course your PCI Express power cables are in here. So yeah, that's what's in this bag right here. All right, when we come back, we'll actually take a look at the power supply itself. All right, let's take a look at the power supply. I like the way it's in this like dense foam packing material. That's really nice. I like that. And then here's the power supply itself. Okay. Let me get the box out of the way. All right. Here's a Seasonic power supply. Let me get the this foam off of here. And we got to take it out of this bag. Okay. All right. So this here is the fan side of the power supply. That's pretty nice. It looks like it has a standard 120 millimeter fan. Okay. This right here is the, well, let me put it down like that. And then I'll zoom in. I think it'd be better this way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It'd be better this way. Yeah, that looks good. Don't have to be a perfectionist, Mr. Campbell. They just want to see the power supply and hear you talk about it, okay? All right. Yeah, looking through the these holes here, you can see the big beefy aluminum power supplies that are in this power supply. It's one of the reasons why this power supply is so heavy, and it is a heavy power supply for its size. This is your AC cord jack, your on-off power switch, and this is your, I think it's the hybrid mode. When you press it, I think when you press it in, okay, the default mode, I think is, okay, when you press it out, it tells you in the instructions. I think when you have it out like that, the fan is always on, basically, to help keep the power supply cool. And that's what I would recommend having it in, having it set in, okay? Especially if you're using a power-hungry graphics card, yeah, you want to always have that fan on, keeping this power supply nice and cool. But it does have a power-saving mode. I think you press the button in, and then the fan is not on until the power supply, the load on the power supply goes beyond a certain percentage, or the power supply reaches a certain temperature. Then the fan will come on, and it'll stay on until that load goes down or the temperature goes down, or both. So you can set it in that mode too. And I have a feeling that that's the mode that most of you are going to set it in. I won't. Not for my Windows XP build. I'm going to have it set for the default mode, which I think is the fan always being on. Because I don't want to take a chance on this power supply for some reason, you know, the fan not coming on in time and the power supply overheats and burns up. No, that ain't going to happen with my build. But you guys, you can set that any way you feel comfortable with. I don't feel comfortable setting it for the hybrid mode. Okay, I don't feel comfortable with that. Not with a big beefy power supply like this. All right. And then there is the connect. Well, let me put this. I don't want to have the switch laying directly on the hard power bench. I mean, well, the anti-setting mat, the workbench. Yeah, so I'll put it on that foam there. And this way, I want to show you the connectors. Okay. This is where your motherboard power connector plugs in. It's right there. This is your CPU 12-volt cables. They plug into here, plus PCI Express. This is also CPU and PCI Express. This is where you plug in your peripheral IDE, SATA, Molex cables. They get plugged into here. Okay, and when you plug those cables in, make sure you hear that snap. They should snap into place into these parts right here. It should snap into place. You should hear that snap. Okay? All right. Now for the top of the power supply, which is right there. Okay, well, right there. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole top of the power supply. Okay. Alright. There's the top of the power supply. Looking good. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on the label so that you can read the label directly on that power supply. Okay. Read that all-important information. Okay, there you go. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, so that you can read this all-important information right here. Yeah, it has been high potted, so that's good. The grounding has been tested, so that's good. 80 plus gold, yeah, that's a very good rating. This is a very nice power supply. It really is. I mean, they cost around about between $100 and $120. Sometimes they can go as high as $150 to $180, depending on the seller. But they are good power supplies, and you do get what you pay for. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you the power supply that I'm installing in my upcoming Windows XP computer build. And of course I want to do an unboxing and a review of this power supply. So yeah. Stay tuned for more exciting content on this channel. My name is Hans George Campbell. And until next time.